In this example, we'll look at finding the equation of a piecewise function given the graph and setting up the restrictions for the domain. So we have a piecewise. There are currently two line segments here on the left, here on the right. So we're going to work on finding equations for those. So for the left portion here, they're both lines, so they're linear equations. So when we come to create our piecewise, for equation 1, we'll use y equals mx plus b, slope-intercept form. We have to find the slope, do an average rate of change where we do the change in y's over the change in x's. So what that gives us is 4 minus 2 over 1 minus 3. So we get that the slope is -1. And you can use point slope form or you can use slope-intercept form. It's really up to you. But either way, you'll use the slope that we found, and we'll use one of those points. So I'm going to use the point 1, 4, plug in 4 for my y value, -1 for my slope, and one for my x value. And if I clean this up, I get y minus 4 equals -x plus 1. So y equals -x plus 5. This one you probably could have went off of the fact that it gave you the y-intercept for that line. I just wanted to walk through the math for it. So the first equation is -x plus 5, but that's only valid for x values that are less than 3. The graph does keep going here on the far left corner. There's not a point to end it. So for the restriction on the domain, we'll say that it's -x plus 5, but only for x values that are less than 3. For the second equation, I use a different pen here. For the second equation, it keeps going to the right. So whatever we find for that equation will be defined for x values that are greater than or equal to 3, but we still need to come up with the equation for that. So again, we need to do y equals mx plus b because our equation is linear. We'll do the slope first by changing y over changing x. So using the 2 points that they've given us, we've got 1.5 minus 0.5 over 5 minus 3. So that gives us 1 over 2. So our slope is 1/2. And when we go to plug that in to point slope form, you get y minus, I'm going to use the half, the 0.5, equals 1/2 times x minus 3. So it's y minus 0.5 equals, we'll do 0.5x minus 1.5. And then if I add the 0.5 over, I get the equation 0.5x minus 1, or you can do 1/2 x minus 1. It's really interchangeable for here unless it tells you to do decimals. So the equation is 1/2 x minus 1 defined for x values that are greater than or equal to 3. And that is the answer to our piecewise function.